I'm a little bit confused, I'll be honest with y'all. Because I'm looking at the office page and I have no idea. No idea where all the works are that they wrote. It's Billith. Billith is our last author of today. I'm just trying to figure what the hell. It also seems to be like some again. I have no idea. What is this? This is yeah. Check out programming, credentials. I'm honestly kind of a little bit confused right now. This has been marked for deletion. Okay, no idea. No idea. I can see one SCP here that they wrote was just like in series 9, far away. So yeah, but Billith has written as within, so without. And this one has a tail that's like pretty long. So let's get to it. This is the last SCP though, so let's get to getting this done, eh? Knowledge from the Records and Information Security Administration, the following document has been restricted by order of the O5 Council. As such, terminal access to this file is monitored and logged. Your IP address has been successfully recorded. Article U3, or UE, I mean. Hey, log on explain locations. I will eventually read that as a subscriber special. I think it is. Let me double check. It should be a subscriber special thing. It is, yeah. For 3,000 subscribers, this will be read. Okay. Article UE 54701. Date of containment 1983. Threat level low. Geospatial location. Oh wait. Dot degrees. Dot degrees. And here we have this, the cigarette of you. Hey, there's a guy up there. There's a guy who's chilling up there. There's two guys who's chilling up there. What the hell, man? Description. UE 54701 is the exact replica of Etemeni Guru, the Neo-Sumerian ziggurat of Ur, and its surrounding courtyards found to have materialized near kilometers from the original complex. Yeah. Sorry about that. UE 54701 exerts no outward anomalous properties and has not been deemed worthy of classification. Mass anchor site reported large volume hume fluctuation leading up to the event, which dissipated quickly thereafter and did not otherwise affect the surrounding environment. Due to this location, sheer size, a wide area has been cordoned off while better forms of containment are devised. Any activity is to be reported to site head at no time or any civilians to come in 1 kilometer of UE 54701. Media suppression tactics successful in limiting knowledge of manifestation. Amnestic application has proven useful in most other cases. No further plans for the structure has been made. Oops. Dr. Rosenberg has noted the quality and likeness of the replica to the pristine, with several planned expeditions into the complex in order to study vast relief sculptures. Okay. Event log. God, my eyes are getting heavy as well. Great. Event log UE 54701-12. 1987. Aaron region of original cigarette of you experiences a series of earthquakes that are perceptible within 5 kilometers of UE 54701. Researcher and the further connection between the two is ongoing. 1990. Personnel on site report sporadic cases of unverified activity in the form of human shadow casts on the cigarette walls. Once again, one agent reported experiencing a strong sense of dread and pervasive nausea, but it is unknown if the effect was actually caused by UE 54701. Let me actually get this code open here and see if this all works. I don't think I can select that or send that many. Oh, we'll see. Yeah. Okay, that worked. Sorry. 1990. Reports of unverified activity in order to account are the same. In addition, and audiovisual systems are unable to detect any movement whatsoever. 1991. Unverified activity. 993, removed. Item has been contained and is under no analysis. Request for reclassification pending. End file. Okay, but here we have speak passphrase into receiver now. Holy shit. And it's up. Is that the extra part? Yeah, this is the extra part with. Yeah, nope. This is the long one. This is the big boy one. Nothing we can do about it. Here we go. Time to read. Hurt. I exist more fully here than I ever will. There, in time. Response. Better here than in the ground. Confirmed. Welcome back. 0511. And here we have Euclid, secondary class Thaumiel. Disruption class Dog, warning, protection class Providence, class Euclid Thaumiel, which Thaumiel is rare. Spectral team procedures. Due to its size and location, SB2759 is to be surrounded with 4.5 meter barbed wire fencing and patrolled by security personnel until a better form of containment is established. Additionally, remote audiovisual surveillance should be strategically installed around the perimeter and throughout the containment area. The surrounding desert. Okay, hold on. I just want to do this because it's gonna be long, so I don't want to forget doing this right now. That should be it, yeah. Oops. Oops. Did I accidentally doubled. Sorry. Tired. Okay, here we go. Sorry. Let's full focus now. Additionally, remote audiovisual surveillance should be associated. So, yeah, the surrounding desert within visual range of SB2759 is extremely large and arid, making foot traffic in the general vicinity an uncommon occurrence. Therefore, any individual coming within 5 kilometers are to be detained, questioned, and exercised. I'm sorry, Steph, I accidentally sent the last batch has a couple doubles in it. I did my battery says only 5% battery left, which by the way is with this phone on battery saving mode lasts like another like 3 hours. But I didn't see the thing saying like, oh, you can only send 10, and I just thought like, oh, it didn't send, so I just picked them. Dash 1 is to be kept on location. Where was I? Therefore, any individual coming within 5 kilometers to be any question unnecessary. Dash 1 is to be kept on location in a hermetically sealed provisional containment of the area designated SCP-2759. Any authorized activity should be immediately reported to Site Command. In order to prevent unnecessary distress in subjects utilized for experimentation purposes, research personnel are discouraged from discussing details regarding the testing process and the nature of the anomaly as a whole. Maybe Fallen Star will come and join us for the last one as well. Update. All information relating SCP-2759 is now restricted to Foundation personnel aside from select individuals and thus is currently designated non-essential. This includes knowledge of related items, locations, quantitative and experimental data, personnel records, and other relevant documentation. If you're reading this file in error, terminate your connection and proceed to the nearest medical bay for Class A amnestic application. A small group of individuals selected by the O5 Council are to be given access to Sites 2759 and the resources for use to study and experimentation. All personnel assigned to... do I have that picture as well? I should have that picture. Unless I already sent it to you, but I don't think I did. The little bat that my niece saw on the ground and then we saved. All personnel assigned to SCP-2759 are to be scanned daily for fluctuation by the approved cognition integration testing. CIT Proctor. I have no idea if this is something we need to read. A company tale which adds further has a secret text at the... Oh wait! One of the SCPs has a secret text I forgot to do. Hold on. Apparently this has a secret text at the end that we can highlight. Django one. There it is. We all fall down. Okay. Just wanted to make sure we now know that. God, my focus is in shambles. SCP-2759 refers to former location of interest and unexplained environment 54701. SCP-2759 appears to be an exact replica of the ziggurat of Ur, found to have materialized in White Sands, New Mexico. Given the significance of the original ziggurat, Etemeniguru, the complex has been contained and is under heavy scrutiny and analysis by Foundation historians and archaeologists. A name which translates roughly to temple whose foundation emanates aura. Yo, Steph, you are Etemeniguru for me, my man. You're such an Etemeniguru. You emanate aura. A temple whose foundation emanates aura. Although the temple is inactive at most times, there have been multiple unverified reports of moving shadows seen, cast on the walls and floors of the temple interior. It is unknown if this phenomenon is hallucinogenic or otherwise, as claims vary between individuals, and the phenomena is not detectable via video surveillance or photography. Additionally, evidence suggests an anomalous connection may exist between SCP-2759 and the original temple complex, with meteorological fluctuation and occasional noises that resemble those reported in the vicinity of Tel el-Miqwayar, Iraq. This, combined with the difficulty of containment, led to its official classification as Euclid on the 7th, 12th, 1995. Oh, I have Nightcore on, I didn't even realize. Dash 1 refers to a clay brick altar recovered from within the central shrine of SCP-2759. The object was discovered with the intact skeletal remains of an unknown individual laying on its surface. Carbon dating places the remains at 60,000 years old, a significant anachronism and the upper bound of current detection capabilities. Thus, the exact age of the remains may far exceed that limit. Unlike the expected design of Mesopotamian sacrificial altars detailed in historical record, the actual features atypical iconography, including several large cuneiform symbols engraved into the sides of the object. Translated roughly as transport/movement, garden, hall/vestibule underneath. The Ashman's primary anomalous nature becomes apparent when an individual dies while laying atop the surface of the altar in the correct orientation. The subject does not need to be awake for this, and therefore sedation is to be administered during testing. Insert gases will now be used for ease of testing and subject comfort. Per review of the ethics committee, once death has occurred, the altar will vibrate with a low hum for approximately 15 seconds, after which the cuneiform symbol for transport/movement will flash briefly and emit a soft tone. The altar will then cease action. Then we have here incident 3. During evaluative testing of -1, senior researcher Rowena Scully reportedly left her work-provided cell phone on the surface of SCP-2759-1 while administering inert gas nitrogen to D8821. 10 minutes later, Dr. Rosenberg received a call from researcher Scully's number despite her phone having been accounted for. Dr. Rosenberg was then able to speak to the deceased D8821 via an unknown means. A transcript of the call can be found below. Begin transcript. Hello, yes? Doc? Are you there? What? Wait a minute. Who is this? What do you mean? Is this part of the tests? I know you guys mess with some weird stuff, but this one set off a trip. Wait. D8821? Yeah. Last thing I remember was you guys knocking me out. Now I'm here. A brief period of silence is heard as Dr. Rosenberg sets up a recording device and places the call on speakerphone. Understood. Can you describe your surroundings? Well, it looks like a lot like the temple you showed me. The one from New Mexico. I woke up half naked on the steps out here. I found the phone shortly afterwards. Your name is the only one I recognize from the contacts. At the time, SCP-2759 was searched and monitored for signs of D8821. None were found. I'm definitely not in New Mexico. Too cold. Foggy. I think I see trees. We're not picking you up at a complex. Do you see any identifying landmarks? Too much fog. I can't see maybe 10 feet in any direction outside the temple. I bet I'll see something from the top. Give me a second. Silence followed by sounds of movement for approximately 10 seconds. Oh. Oh boy. What do you see? Well, it just seems to go on forever. The fog. There's only this place. Where the hell am I, Doc? I don't know. We're trying to locate you. Damn it, the battery is dying. Of course, one was like 60% when I got here. Oh shit. What should I do? Stay where you are for now, and try to send someone to aid you. Please do. Have to bring me a sweatshirt if you could. I think we can do that. Good luck, D8821. Yeah, End transcript. Well, following this call, all contact with D8821 was lost, and he's gone. He's dead. He's gone. He ceased to exist. Addendum 1. After the event of Incident 3, it has been determined that Dash was not wholly sacrificial in purpose, but instead an ancillary tool used for interstellar or trans-dimensional travel. Stargate. Subjects report a brief period of unconsciousness following death that lasts between 5 to 15 minutes. After this period, the subject's consciousness will be translocated to the relative location of another copy of SCP-2759 not present on Earth. designated E1 Stargate. Subjects retain a portion of the items and clothing they died with. However, man-made materials have been shown to degrade at a variable accelerated rate. Through extensive testing, the following factors have been found to influence what will ultimately be transferred to -E1. Size and shape of the item, with a preference for smaller and rounder objects. Complexity of the item. Audio broadcasting equipment averages at a 27% rate of success. Cameras/videos equipment 18%, with more sensitive equipment yielding an average 10% chance of transference. How the item relates to the concept of tool, instrument, or weapon. Average rate of transference for a basic weapon, tactical knife, 3.4%. How the item relates to the... Motherfucker. Some small little fly thing flew in my eye. God damn. Should be good. Okay. How that is the concept of clothing versus belongings. Adapted to items, sentimental or otherwise. GPS positioning systems fail to trace the location of E1. However, audiovisual transmissions can still be received with decent clarity when receivers are placed within 0.4 kilometers of SCP-2759. -1 or the original temple complex. -1 operates regardless of its distance from SCP-2759. However, test subjects sent via -1 when it's located outside of the courtyard perimeters are unrecoverable. The composition of E1 is environment and atmosphere are both unknown. It is presumably breathable and generally considered cold, humid, and subject to a dense fog that surrounds the complex proper. Unlike SCP-2759, E1 is the only temple complex with architectural deviations from the original ziggurat of Ur, including a spatial anomaly. The center that is defined as E2. It's believed that the dimensions or region of space containing E1 and E2 has cognitive-hazardous effect and sentient beings, the strength of which increases linear with exposure time. The exact consequence and cause of these effects are not currently known to Foundation research staff. Exploration 2759 Enlil. Okay, abstract exploration Enlil was approved and took place 2 days after contact with D8821 was lost. D3733 was sent through -1 with shoulder-mountable audiovisual recordings gear, 1 hooded sweatshirt, and a small kit containing a flashlight, 3 flares, extra batteries, and 2 granola bars, establishing contact 18 minutes after death. Begin log. Okay, here we go. And here we have a picture that says Moon of E2 enlarged. Okay. Did anyone take... and... wait. You know what? I'm giving the Baden voice. Who cares? Did one of... oh, did one of you take my pants? What the hell, guys? It is really cold and... okay, D3733, let's get started. You should have a mountable camera in your pack. Please take it out and activate it. Alright. Let me just tie the sweatshirt around my waist. After approximately 1 minute, camera feed comes live, revealing a full frame of grey fog. Camera view is jostled as D3733 is seen scaling the side of the temple complex. As they approach, the zenith subject pans camera around, revealing the expanse of fog stretch on around E1 in all directions. The fog line terminates abruptly just outside the perimeter. Sky is dark and purple in color. No celestial bodies are present, but areas dimly lit and appears desaturated. Oh, I'll be damned. No stars. Where is this? That's what we're hoping to find out. This place. I'm going to die here, aren't I? What makes you say that? A feeling. I don't know. There's this weight, this heavy, empty feeling in my stomach. It feels like sorrow, like death. Just try and remain calm. If you need a minute to adjust, we can wait. I'm calm. I'm calm. Subject stops for a moment and is heard taking a breath. I'm as calm as I can be, Batman. After a period of silence, a voice is heard off camera that resembles a small child. Oh, wait. Hey! Hey! Camera swings around as the subject turns to feed, showing brief movement coming from the entrance to the interior of the central temple. I'm telling you right now, if I was teleported to a fucking sacrificial altar in a different dimension and it's super foggy and next thing you know there's a small child running around in the fog, I'm gonna shoot myself. I'm not gonna entertain the idea. I'm not gonna even think about sticking around for too long. Yep. Someone just went inside. Should I follow? Affirmative, but make sure to keep an eye out for any signs of D8821. You'll find a flashlight and some flares in your kit. We've found some wind and rustling is heard. Found the flares, no flashlight. At least it's something. D3733 is seen approaching the threshold at the top of Dash 1. Subject lights a torch with which bathes the corridor in red light. Hello? Anyone? D3733 proceeds down the hall into the central shrine or cellar, which contains several connection pathways. The walls are lined with cuneiform symbols and imagery, and a group of clayware pots litter the ground in pieces of varying size. Post-analysis revealed much of the symbol relate to Ereshkigal, a Sumerian goddess of the underworld. I hear something. Audio feed picks up the sound of whispers coming from the hallways. As D3733 passes by, figures are seen moving in the shadows. There are people. They're hiding just outside of view. I don't know how many. Subject takes a second before choosing a direction. The red light reveals the hall to be empty and slopes downward. The ceiling drops swiftly and turns sharply right. After a few seconds, a distant scream is heard. This place is freaking me out. The walls are cold. I'm cold. Everything is cold. Noted. Please continue. D3733 descends into the heart of the temple. Camera picks up further signs of distress and unintelligible vocalization. No, I don't think so. Nope. I'm done. Go ahead and pull me out now, please. Please. That is not possible at this time. Your mission is to locate D821. External dialogue removed. He probably just cursed the shit out of him. Damn, he's like, how fucking... Fine. But don't expect me to be happy about it. Understandable? Now if you would. D3733 sighs and continues on. Coming to a small intersection, subject lights up the left pathway, revealing it to be a dead end. Let me actually check if my... this one right here. Yeah. It looks like it's like normal now. Okay. Sorry about that. I know I'm being heavily distracted. Coming on to a small intersection, subject lights up the left hot pathway, revealing it to be a dead end. 3 emaciated naked humanoids are crouched in the corner and sharing a single tattered blanket. They do not look up at D3733 but are heard whimpering and speaking an unknown language. One figure appears to be albino in pigmentation, the entire group possessing injuries of variable severity. I'm not going up to them. Fine by us. Subject chooses the right hand path, which continues to slope downward. As it angles back towards the center of the temple, D3733 says nothing for several minutes, stopping multiple times to look behind him. The flare starts to burn out. D3733 proceeds to light another. Upon close inspection, the Used flare appears aged and worn, burning out 5 minutes earlier than expected. Looks like a lot of like man-made things are aging faster. That's right. I'm going to be out of the light in no time. Ina to the Apsu. What was that? Was that me? Did I say that? Which means Sumerian for to live in the darkness. We have another Sumerian god, by the way, which I'm pretty sure Enki was. Enki is Sumerian, right? Yep. Sumerian god. We had and the other one that was like a statue that moves around while using it, and Atari computer was also a Sumerian god. It just seems that Series 3 really likes the Sumerian gods. We believe that the environment may be exerting some effect on your mental state and cognitive faculties. How do you feel about it now? Mild static interference overtakes the other feed for 2 seconds. Stupid question. I feel like I'm walking into my grave. I understand that this is not an optimal situation. The sooner you find the 8821, the sooner we can find a way to get you back. Subject does not respond and moves along the now bare walls. The 3733 proceeds for 2 minutes before the hallway terminates sharply on an 80 turn. 80-degree turn that continues down in the darkness. I don't know how many Alaktasar Tarat Eli Maltuti Imaidiu Mituti. So Marion roughly on this road whose course has no way back, the dead will outnumber the living. I'm sorry? I didn't say anything. The pathway begins to widen out. Another right turn is seen at the bottom of the landing. There's light up ahead. As D3733 rounds the corner, an archway is seen roughly 30 meters away. Waves are heard crashing against unseen shores. Several voices are discerned, drowned out by another noise. I feel a breeze. Is it the sky? Subject approaches the area now designated as E2, the microphone picking up sounds of more voices. As D3733 emerges from the archway, ruins of an amphitheater-esque complex comes into focus. The seats of the structure grow larger and steeper as they move outward, becoming impossible to peer over and reaching an unknown height. One wall of the structure seems to have collapsed and waves from a dark ocean on one side roll, pulling the opposite across from the... I will be honest with you guys, I might have to read this one. Although this doesn't seem too bad to read. Never mind, I will. Unless there's like a bunch of... Because I was about to say like maybe I will read there's extra tale to like afterwards because it is taking quite some time. Well, it doesn't look that bad to read, so I will just continue. A few possesses hide onto one wall of the structure seems to have collapsed, and waves from a dark ocean on one side roll in, pulling in the opposite across from the door back into E1. Humanoid figures are seen in abundance, easily 100. All individuals appear emaciated and vary widely in physical characteristics. A few possess additional limbs or mutations. All appear to be sapient and intelligent to a degree, conversing with one another in various unknown languages, ranging from heavily distorted Sumerian to hisses and clicks, similar to the previous group. Nearly all entities possess injuries ranging from minor scrapes and bruises to severe puncture wounds and amputations. No sign of D8821 is found. Oh, this just keeps getting... Oh, this just keeps getting weirder. Look. Subject points the camera upwards to reveal a small moon, orange red in color, lingering in the violet sky. No moon outside the temple as far as I could tell. A group of entities are seen loitering down by the shore. D3733 proceeds to the pool to investigate. These guys don't seem hostile. They all seem quite sad, actually. Approaching the waterline, D3733 keeps to himself, although several figures are seen looking at him and speaking to one another. Hey guys! Figures say nothing but continue to stare. My interference is detected on both audio and visual equipment. Oh, I know. Subject checks his kit and retrieves the granola bar. The second having not survived transfer. D3733 unwraps it, breaking the snack into small pieces and offering them to the creature in an outstretched hand. You guys eat? You like food? Food? Sorry about the raisins, but it's all I have. And D steps back cautiously as D3733 approaches with some convincing one individual possessing scales and a flat whitened forehead tentatively reaches out and accepts a piece. The being sniffs the atom and eats it, expressing approval. The humanoid says something to the others, one of them saying okalum or food. Several other approach in interest, including two which appear to have chitinous carapaces and large insect-like mandibles. They make noise like cicadas as they snatch bits of canola and consume them voraciously. I wonder if all these creatures are from other planets that also have a temple. Because I think that's what happened here. All of them got somehow like brought here. Whoa, slow down, Maurice. I mean, whoa, slow down. There's not enough for everyone. D3733 is interrupted by distress vocalization. Camera turns to show a humanoid with equine features writhing on the ground, howling in apparent agony. Several other figures crowd around the entity with a mix of concern and curiosity. A few moments later, the crowd grabs the troubled peer and drag it screaming to the dark shoreline. They pause for a moment as if reluctant and then push the entity into the ocean waters below. Disappears beneath and does not resurface. No signs of struggle are seen and the screaming ceases instantly. At this point, an unknown Sumerian dialect is detected among the chatter. POYA, an antlered humanoid, is seen speaking to D3733, a Foundation historian with linguistics experience. Experience is brought in to help with translation. Are you the Anunnaki? Sorry. Anunnaki. The ones who know the stars. They who birthed the unknown. They are the child. They are the child of Ningishida, lord of the artifact of life. They see through the eyes and ears of all children. We are those who are light. Those who wait at the feet of Anu, eternal, of the gateway, the firmament world of twilight. Wasn't Anu the one SCP where they also had a temple and there was like a god basically, like, you know, there was like the village using the god for their own selfish needs and the god is using them for their selfish needs? Because that was also another SCP that we read. Please ask the individual where you are located. I don't think they understand English. Have you come to pay rights? Have you come to pay rights to the mistress of the underworld? In summary, they are the souls of the damned. Open the gates or they may enter the valley. Dahe frowns and appears to step aside, allowing D3733 a full view of the ocean, which stretches as far as the eye can see. No fog is present. I don't like the look of this. Control decides to not tell the subject about the conversation with POYA. D3733 stares into the depths of the ocean as the surface slowly ripples. I feel nauseous. I need a minute. Subject sets the camera down and sits on the pathway. 30 seconds of silence pass. D3733 is seen sitting with his hand in his head. Subject looks out at the water, which is still black in color. There's something down there. In the water. D3733 picks up the camera and angles it downward. Small specks are seen in the distance shining. The dark liquid is abnormally clear. The view is disrupted minimally by smooth rolling waves which appear almost velvet in nature. Due to the worsening static distortion, it is impossible to discern what the objects are. It's Tiamat! Oh, Batman and Tiamat, that's what it's called, I think. The Valley of the Lost. What? Stop it. The Abyss, yeah. Are you alright? Sorry, yes, it's this thing, it's trying to talk to me, to talk through me. Filling my head with knowledge and, oh. D3733 crosses and appears to be listening. I see. I'm on my way. Stopping as it is before, facing the ocean, bending over to look down. What? Who's talking to you? Reflected in the mirror, as within, so without. For each sin, the soul incurs greater depth upon the route. Forgive me. Please exit for the archway D3733. D3733 says nothing. Takes a breath and jumps from the edge into the dark water below. Camera remains unaffected by exposure to the liquid, although all lights is quickly extinguished. D3733, do you copy? Sounds recorded for 30 seconds. Sounds of water are pleasant. No, not pleasant. Present. D3733, please respond. D3733 does not respond and is considered lost. However, for the next 14 hours, D3733's voice is picked up sporadically before static distortions overwhelms the feed. Unfortunately, subject remains unwilling to engage in meaningful conversation, expressing extreme mental anguish for the entirety of the remaining transmission. End log. Incident 4. On the 4th, 2005, personnel on site at SCP-2759 reported the activation of -1 without external manipulation. By the way, who's still around? No one was observed leaving from or arriving to -1. It is unknown at this time who or what may have caused the artifact to activate. Exploration Eribu. Abstract. Exploration Eribu was approved after the event of Incident 4. The goal of the exploration was to ascertain the possible cause of -1's activation. I hate when it's itchy. Several attempts were made to send D-class personnel through with surveillance equipment, but it were all failed. We connect with site command post transversal. D1212 was the next individual who successfully transitioned to E1 with the equipment needed to remain in contact. The whereabouts of the other subjects are unknown. D1212 was emitted inert gas, nitrogen, while laying across the surface of -1, equipped with the same gear as the previous log, plus an extra set of mountable cameras, one handheld camcorder, an extra flashlight, and additional provision. Audio contact was established 21 minutes after death. In log 1, the camera's activation reveals E1 and its fog-lined perimeter. The quality and unsteadiness of the feed implies the mountable camera did not survive traversal into the anomaly. D1212 is instructed to observe the rest of the temple exterior before entering the cellar. Subject's breath is seen as they circumnavigate the center of the temple. This place has given me the spins. Take as much time as you need. D1212 rests for a moment before continuing onward. You'll get me out of here if things go south. We do everything we can to keep you safe. Thank you. Coming around the side, another entrance into the temple is visible further down out of view. In the video feed, a dark silhouette is seen peering out of the entrance. Subject starts towards it wordlessly, and the entity disappears into the structure. D1212 approaches the entryway and points the camera into the darkness. She pauses and pulls off her back and looks inside, taking out a flashlight and switching it on. The hallway is wide but low, dipping down before ending at a left turn. More cuneiform imagery is observed on the walls. The symbols mul and ki are predominant, seen carved over the relief sculptures that were present before. Mul ki meaning ancestral body which has been. The reason for this vandalism is still under debate. I don't know what these symbols are, but they feel loud, familiar too. Hello? Noted. We are analyzing the writing now. Please continue. Topic takes the left as it terminates into a small room of unknown purpose. In the center is a clay altar that resembles -1. D1212 approaches the object and lays a hand on it. Whoa. Is this another one of those tables that you put me on? It appears to be. It is. D1212 panics and swings around, dropping the camera. View is clouded with dust and lays askew with 2 pairs of legs seen struggling. After a moment, the scuffle subsides. Wait, stop, just calm down. The hell I will. Who are you? Quiet and honorable. Thank goodness, but how? Why are you even here? Number of dead folk that end up here. I mean, wouldn't you? It's crowded enough here as it is. Is Sarkomine in your ear? Can you tell him to contact 0511? Tell him McLaughlin wants to speak with him. You know who I am. Sure, but wait, dead folk? Am I? Something is seen hyperventilating. Yeah, great. She didn't know that she was dead already. Control attempts to contact 0511 about the matter. No response is given. The entity is seen moving into view of the camera and approaching. They identified as Agent Andrew McLaughlin, determined KIA 9-12-999 as a result of a large-scale containment breach at Site 19. Hey, the same site that the previous SCP wanted to go and hang out with. He brushes the lens and sets the device on a ledge facing the true with the altar in plain view. I didn't tell you. Jesus. Short answer is yes, but it's never that simple. What are you right now? What you are right now is an informational construct. That's what we all are, really. Information. Most likely anyway. There are theories. At present moment, your information is on a different substrate, or plane of existence, or whatever you want to call it. If it makes you feel any better, we won't be dead forever. At least, we won't be stuck here forever. Which is ostensibly worse. Death is a blessing. Don't take it for granted. What do you mean? It's nothing to you. This is what you want right here. McLaughlin is seen producing a clay disc roughly 15 centimeters across. The object, now classified as -2, possesses a carving of an isosceles triangle but appears otherwise unremarkable. And what is that? The way back. Well, it makes the way back the right way back. The right way. Trust me, we've been looking for this for a while. We? How many more of you are there? 40 something. You often is seen approaching the altar and laying the disc flat on the surface. The altar hums, the symbol for hall/vestibule glowing bright. 0511 arrives on site unannounced and assumes administrative control of the situation. Not where we want to go. Look here though. He turns the object like a dial, and as he does so, the light switches to garden into a new symbol where underneath was present on -1. With the frequency of the hum audibly changing with each. There we are. That'll take me back. Yeah. You go first. The 1212 scrambles under the altar and lays down. The journey is much easier if you're already dead, so I can be more helpful. What do you mean? I'll be quick, I promise. McLaughlin is seen pulling out a small knife. Before D1212 can react, he's seen pulling the subject's head back and slicing her Coveted all three in one motion. Oh, I had a feeling this was a... But it is an altar where you sacrifice people, so maybe he's saying like, yeah, if we kill you in this area again, because it's an altar, you get sent somewhere. D-121 quickly dies via blood loss, the altar reacting as expected not long after. It doesn't get easier. Now, for me. Once the altar stops functioning, McLaughlin is seen moving towards the camera and disappears out of view, presumably looking into the LCD screen as it's jostled. A view remains trained on the altar. After a moment of silence, the camera steps back down. Interesting. Let's hope this works then. He moves back over to the altar again and is seen pulling the corpse of D-1212 off the surface. The late agent lays atop surface and is observed falling unconscious immediately, with the altar once again activating as expected. 16 minutes later, D-1212 is found unconscious on the grounds of SCP-2759, back in our world, I assume, -2 laying beside her. McLaughlin is not found, and 0511 debriefs several level 5 members of Site Command. Okay, that's... We have some more... Wait, debrief site? Oh, okay, 2718. 2718 is... Yeah, it's the one SCP where somebody died and then came back and was like, I don't know what death is like, and then everybody was like getting panicked of dying because they were trying to like prevent death for as long as possible. Addendum 2, after the event of exploration Eribu, and with the assistance of 0511, personnel assigned to the project were screened and reassigned as necessary. Select Foundation staff assigned to SCP-2759 were kept on the project and debriefed on the existence of a heretofore unknown mobile task force consisting exclusive of incorporeal entities, informational construct for similes. 2111. Yeah, the one SCP that's like very anti-meme, like you will forget that it existed. Which is funny because every time I look up 2111, which is such a memorable number, but every time I do, I completely forget what it is. So it's very ironic that like, oh no, not ironic, but fitting that an SCP that's all about forgetting it, I keep forgetting it. These beings are able to freely travel via -1 anomalous properties, utilizing camera placed within the containment area, though it is unclear why this function does not operate the same way upon return. Recovered material suggests E1 is likely entirely constructed in nature. However, the realness of this reality is still subject of debate, as well as our own for that matter. Yeah, no. Using E1 as a focal point, the O5 Council is now able to communicate with the deceased mobile task force Omega Zero, Aha Orun, with a relative ease to cooperate and plan and execute missions in a discreet and effective manner. We classified as Euclid Thaumiel on 4th 10th 2012 per request of 5511. It makes sense because like when you die there and teleport to the other temple, unless somebody saw it, they basically contained the items already, and if they do it, and they don't really come back. So yeah, it makes sense. Euclid is just the Euclid part is just keeping people from seeing like bodies vanishing. Exploration on Zoo abstract on the 9th 13th 2012, an exploration of E1 and -1's alternate destination was approved by 0511. A team of 5 members from MTF, I think that's Omega O, were selected to travel 2E1 set up a small short-term camp and then split up into teams to explore both remaining destinations and, if possible, find another instance of -1 to return with. Kits packed with standard Mobile Task Force gear and redundant sets of audio-visual surveillance equipment were placed on -1 during transport. After 1 hour of radio silence, it was assumed that none of the broadcast equipment successfully transferred to E1. 2 weeks after the start of exploration, a personal logbook of late Agent Richard Lawrence was discovered on the grounds of SCP-2759. Hell yeah. New personal log of late Agent... I don't know why, but the idea of, like, you know, agents writing down what's happening, and then the Foundation finding out through, like, the agents, like, experiences is somehow really always well done. I don't think I have found one that's done unwell or, like, bad. Okay, personal log, Agent Richard Lawrence, KIA, 10th, 12th, 2009, member of Mobile Task Force Omega 0, Ara Orun. Date, 9th, 13th, 2012. Travel to the underneath was successful for the most part. None of the streaming tech made it through the journey, but we decided to keep going with the mission. Logbooks came no problem, and with one of those instant print cameras. And the lack of LCD screens makes a big difference when traveling to this dimension. 3 of our 5 two-ways made it, but we are lucky to even have that. Here we go. Apparently, even have 3 of our 5, yeah. Lori found one of the microdrones in the pack, so she is going to set it up and see if anything exists outside the temple. Doubtful, but worth a look. It's nice to inhabit a real body again. A real body. Even if we are dead, we are alive and we'll ever be in this place, which is more than enough motivation to come out this way. Recover from within logbook. Who am I kidding? This place sucks. I'm hungry. Haven't felt that in a long time. The pangs are real though, almost as if I've been starving myself for all these years. I wanted to plow through our rations, but McLaughlin was right. We need to make it last. Apparently the folk in this place won't succumb to hunger, but they'll feel the pain of it. They're already dead too, aren't they? We avoided the main shrine and set up a pop-up base camp near the return altar. Vasilev and McLaughlin are going to check out the garden destination while Tane and I check out vestibule. Vazi spent months poring over the text and learning the language, and he has some theories as to where these road leads. None of them are good. Recover from written logbook. Oh, is that the moon? And it's falling like... Is that like the moon like falling apart? Like there's like the moon surface like being shot out? Looks like that almost. Date 9th, 14th, 2012. Realize there's no way to tell the time in this place. That's why everything crawls by, but it's probably just me. McLaughlin supposedly asked for a few watches. None of them made the transition, and our circadian rhythm haven't existed for years. Who needs sleep? Not I, said the ghost apparition. Oh well. First 2 set of today, watching McLaughlin tune the altar and lie to sleep remind me we're really out of our depths here. While the task force undergo years of specialized training and experience with the chosen field, we are a hodgepodge collective of the dead that never die. Vasilev was a junior researcher before his death, I think. He was a baby, taking hostage before to pour his mind out into a crystal drinking glass, only to get caught up in the Satan's crossfire and Swiss cheese. Oh yeah, that's the future. I was there watching as his brain was forced out of new holes in the head, but he wouldn't see me until a little later. Swore I smelled it, the grey matter, the blood and cerebrospinal fluids pouring and mixing around his mangled corpse. Ugh. There's one thing we have in common though. One thing that makes us almost invincible as a team. We're unafraid to look death in the eye. Been there, done that. In fact, I know few Omega Zs that were grabbing at any chance they could get to experience something other than what we are out there. I don't blame them. So many of us want to die, to really die, and there had to be a way out. Some tried erasing all traces of themselves, but it didn't work. Not like intended, anyway. If you listen, you can still hear them screaming in unison, not all closer to approaching the veil than the rest of us. Good times. I didn't want the suicidal bunch, but I took along 4 Uruns that weren't about to dive headfirst into the mass of the void. The corporeal forms add both literal and figurative weight to dying this time around. Thus we were giddy and distracted. Well, everyone except Vasi. He is always quiet and miserable. As the author finished working on McLaughlin and Vasi approached, I watched as he traced his returned form, feeling the bridge of his nose, the angle of his chin, the width of his forearm, as if memorizing the shape of his coil. In fear he might lose it again. Fountain and I decided it was time. Nobody volunteered to be the one who stayed behind to keep watch on the pop-up site and do some drone surveillance. He has high cock-has tolerance and a moral most of us do not possess. So we figured she would fare all right. The rest of us took 2 radios and went our separate ways. We waited a bit for the first two to contact us before setting off ourselves. Felt like forever, but they called it eventually, both sounding very relieved. I was too. Said they end up in a grove of sorts, lots of foliage, and it was warm. Sounds like a dream. It's odd seeing the corpses of your teammates pile in the corner while knowing that they are still very much alive, in whatever sense alive is in this place. I couldn't keep myself from looking at Vasilev's face while his disembodied voice spoke to me from places unknown. He stared back with blank, half-open eyes glazed over with what empty sheen only the dead can produce. Is that what we looked like? What did they do with our bodies? I never checked. I know that it matters. If it all goes well, I'll be dead again in a minute. See you on the side. Emerging from the void was like ripping the band-aid off of my gaping existential wounds. I'm here though. I had this strange feeling right before I lost consciousness. Like I remembered something. Can't tell you what it was exactly, but it was important. Like one of those things you shouldn't forget, shouldn't be able to forget. I felt it once before, when I died. When I closed my eyes this time, a familiar dark engulfed me and I forgot it's just the same. I woke up in what I can only describe as a hallway for gods. The roof is immeasurable high, disappearing on occasion behind clouds that linger near the very top. The walls I saw were littered with cuneiform and I almost instantly regretted not bringing Vasi. The walls I didn't see, however, eluded us entirely. I'm starting to be able to not read anymore. How big is this place? I was noting the windows stained, ornate, and perfect in design. Colorful, not like the temple. Crafted by the hands of a power beyond comprehension. Light poured in from outside, though all I saw was more grey fog. The mind bending is a little different here. Not as depressing. It's still there though. I'm trying to push thoughts into my head. When I went to take some photos and the camera is gone. Hopefully the other two have copies of their own. Lowry briefly checked in. Said drone surveillance revealed little so far. Said she might try the other sky for clues. Took me a while to figure out what she meant. Fountain joined me not long after. We decided to set up camp. We're finally getting tired. Sleepers for the week. Too many nightmares. Fountain had them too. Shaken awake by horrors of a long dead mind. I righted myself to see his rugged form fidgeting with a pack of cigarettes. He found out a little while later that I didn't survive the journey. Fountain was a rat before he died. They always get the worst of it. moribund in the depths of some hellhole. He knew nothing else. In fact, his spirit had clawed its way out of the hole. Once his teammate left him behind, he harbored no resentment though, claiming he would have done the same. I was too far gone. He would say, I was a liability. Would he do the same to me? Would I do the same to him? Funny how even your own death doesn't prepare you for the possibility of it happening again when you have a body to wear. So much for looking death in the eye. The whispers are getting louder, so we decided to move on. Been wandering this place for a while. There doesn't seem to be an end, but we know it isn't true. If there was one set of walls, the others had to exist too. We're cursing ourselves for not just following the wall itself, but I don't know how much that would have helped. It took a while for Vasiliev and McLaughlin to check in. Apparently they were hiding for something big. They wouldn't or couldn't elaborate on it much more. Vasiliev says it's the god of Babylon and not the hanging one. Don't know what that means. Maybe I should have studied a bit more. I worry about Lori. We made a breakthrough today. Found a spiral staircase going up. Not necessarily where we want to go. We really just want to see whatever else is in this place. No sign of a return altar. The architecture doesn't seem the architecture doesn't seem even remotely Sumerian. In fact, it doesn't resemble anything I have ever seen before. We are beginning to doubt we will find our way back at this point. At the top of the stairs, we got the nice view of the place. It has to be dozens of kilometers across, maybe more. There's something in the distance, some change in the layout that implies this place is not actually endless. We found some new cuneiform tablets too. Transcribe the symbols. I'll have Vasiliev translate them when we get back. Note, see recovered material log 2759 for more information. Radio silence, not sure what to think. Fontaine is restless and insists we keep moving. Made it to the other side of the complex. Felt like days of walking, but I have no frame of reference. The journey revealed a small temple contained within this immense structure. Strange, like a scaled down version of the ziggurat itself, no larger than a residential home, and not made of stone like the others. Almost feels like plastic. It felt like a joke. It would have been funny if it didn't have this ominous droning sound emanating from within. Something mechanical perhaps. Doors are large enough for us to fit through, even though it feels like a replica or a dollhouse for Mesopotamian children who are 10 stories tall. Fontaine and I are debating our next plan of action. We have decided to investigate some. Since caves and corridors are his specialty, Fontaine is leading. We waited a while to see if the noise would subside on its own. It didn't. If anything, it's loud and changing. I hear the words in the sound now, chanting in Sumerian. It's our only lead, so hopefully this is my last entry. Anna biti sae busu mituti ikalu baltuti adila basi alaku. Roughly the house in which the dead consume the living. Then they become nothing. Anna biti sae busu mituti ikalu baltuti adila basi alaku. Anna biti sae busu mituti ikalu baltuti adila basi alaku. Anna biti sae busu mituti ikalu baltuti adila basi alaku. Continue repetition, redacted for brevity. I woke up just outside where this temple was, or where I thought it was. Fontaine is gone. I don't know where he is. I don't remember anything after following him into the surface. That's gone too. Maybe it was a hallucination? If that's the case, why isn't the churning stopped? Why do I feel like we pissed something off? I need to leave, find an exit. There's one. There's gotta be one. Walked in a straight line until I hit a wall. The air is so dizzying in size. I have no clue where I am. Followed it for a bit before I heard something large, footsteps echoing like cannon shots. Hit like a child. Child glanced out on one point and saw something bright, radiant, ineffable. It held power so immense I could feel it tangibly. Tangibly? No, tangibly. I lost my track. Tangibly. Looking at it made my eyes hurt, and I still can't be sure what I saw. It left shortly after. I heard from Masalef today saying there are giant about gods. He said, after my experience, I believe in him. I've been holed up in the forest there with McLaughlin, waiting for in the past. Still no word from Lowry, running low on food. Reached what I believed is the front door of this place. It's huge, 100 meters tall. No way I can open that myself. I wonder if Fontaine is still a ghost. Maybe he's finally moved on. Nothing more to add. Can't really focus on putting thoughts on paper anyway. There's just too much. I think I've found Fontaine, or what is left of him. Found an eyeball, same green, brown, iris and all. Bits of viscera blanket, the column and floor, where he may have stood. A large scorch mark is etched into the ground. At least he's at peace. I hope. Another one of them came today. Managed to slink by unnoticed, making it to the door before it swung shut. The outside world is wrong. Disfigured. The complex appears to be a floating island of sorts, torn apart from the rest of the world, which is also in pieces. A tattered orange-red moon hovers below. Nowhere to go, no food either, but won't kill me, just hurt like a bitch. Hence good news. Some good news. Apparently Vasilev and McLaughlin found another altar and just managed to escape before almost getting caught. McLaughlin apparently has some burns from getting too close to one of them. They're gonna pull him out once they get back. I'm starting to lose myself to the hazardous effect of the dimension. I can somehow understand the cuneiform now. The form's concept is in my head when I stare at the symbols. Either that or I'm going fucking crazy. Probably both. I know I don't belong here. I know I don't. I keep talking to myself, reassuring myself with a constant yelling. I don't want to hear the message. We can make me, you, illegible scribbling. No. This is too much. Once there was a young fledgling plant on this planet, lived a race. The dawn of our lineage, proto-human, but neo-human, technologically advanced due to their use of anomalous items and artifacts. They mapped the landscape of the universe and unlocked great secrets. Means to cover great distance, travel to other worlds, create them even. They worshipped the 7 gods and the 50 immortal children, the Anunnaki. A spiteful and jealous party opposed this. Once favored by the 7, it lost the throne to our future legacy and sought to end the human race to correct this. It had its own hand in the creation of the sky, and though it had only created the gaps between the stars, like the voids within which it exists even now, the anathema had the means to form a celestial body, massive and known only to itself. It shaped and placed a dim sphere on invisible rails, a secret collision course for the lonely, perfect little home of the humans. It took thousands of years to align just right. But it was a spiteful god, not an impatient one. By the time the target had realized their fate, it had been sealed. They knew death was coming, but perhaps not for all. In the last-ditch effort, they created a large ship of strange metal. Oh. God damn. Almost done. Come on. Looking for the other facts. But the world's development and inhabit one mysterious disk. Was studied and replicated in clay. Its destination was tarnished by sin, but the mechanism intrigued them. It was brought to the elders' temple, and upon the altar they presented the device before the seven. They, in an act of great mercy, blessed it with the means to bring them together again. The power of blood sacrifice. Only a few made it to the other side. 2 ships made off world. The rest perished in black flame. The Anunnaki, distraught for the loss of paradise and her inhabitants, released the essence into the heavens. He reached out to touch 50 individuals, granting them with immortality with underneath forevermore. It's not possible. It can't be possible. I see now that the island hovers in the sky above the underneath. There's no other altar here. My options are limited. If I don't get a Morgan Freeman voice when I'm like 60, I'm gonna be mad. Because I know that the more you talk, the more your voice is gonna get more like gravelly when you're older. But if I don't have a voice like Morgan Freeman, and I'm like that's like natural, I'm gonna be mad. I'm like, hey, I read 9,000, like probably more than 9,000 by the time I'm done with this SCPs. My voice needs to become sexy now. It's a long drop down. There's no guarantee it will kill me in this place, but it would likely shatter every bone in my body. On the other hand, Fontaine taught me a trick that might just get the job done. Thanks, old friend. Let's see if I too can renounce my gift. I'm not afraid of annihilation. I welcome it. I don't want to live forever. Till 0511, I'm sorry. I failed him. According to the personal account of both McLaughlin and Vasilev, they had retrieved the Foundation issue leather-bound logbook while searching the location for Lowry, who was not recovered. The drone controller was discovered near the shoreline of E2, containing the drone footage and diagnostic data. Nothing of interest is recorded for the first 12 hours of observation around the external temple. Lowry is seen taking the drone to E2. After launching, the device is piloted over the walls of the ruins to reveal the shape to resemble a spiral borehole, with similar holes found strewn throughout the surrounding area. Piloting the drone across a part of the ocean, indiscernible vocalization and sounds of distress are picked up in an audio feed. The recording continues in this manner for some time, until the drone appears to stop flying and nosedive due to the... Oh, she wants pizza. The recording continues in this manner for some time until the drone appears to be some... feed shows the device falling for approximately 3 seconds before it hits the surface of the water, after which everything goes black, though the connection is maintained for some time before the connection degrades to static. Recovered materials log 2759. Excerpt from recovered cuneiform text translated by Agent Pyotr Vasilev. And when in the height, heaven was not named, and neither the earth beneath bare itself, and the primeval, the Apsu who begat them, the chaos, the Tiamut, the mother of them both, the waters were mingled together. Oh god. That feeling, I hate that feeling. No fear was formed, no mark was to be seen. When of the gods, none had been called into being, and none bore a name, and no destinies were ordained. Then were created the gods in the midst. As they drank from the waters, the two became the sea. The sea within the valley without light. They will have sought a god together. I have imposed your toil on man. In the clay, God, and they shall be bound. To unity brought together, undying, so that to the end of days, the flesh and the soul, which in a God have ripened, in the blood kinship be entwined. Upon the death, the star broken upon the altar had they wept and fled. The great body of light bound to man lay cleaved. They, the 50, the Anunnaki bore by 7, the total of man forever in the suffering, in death, raptures for the unclean, and with the rest they are gods. And that's it. We're done. Oh. Some really good SCPs today, but man, God, am I tired. 5-hour reading. Whew. That was unfair. I mean, I knew it was gonna be a long reading, but it's still unfair that the fact that, like, you know, all the SCPs like were pretty short, but then the last 2 ones were the long ones. You could have made it like the first 2 ones are the long ones, the last and everything else is like shorter, huh? Oh well. I had a good time though. Well, good. This is a good halfway points, like, because it's the 2750s. Yeah, it is halfway. Well, over halfway, because like technically, since we also read the zeros, you know, 2700s. 2740s would be the halfway point, like after. Yeah, you know what I'm trying to say, right? I hope. I'm saying the 2750s are in the later half. Okay, I'm going to bed. I'm so tired.